Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and this is Dispatch 2 from CES 2024, and we are at one of my favorite events of the CES week, which is a show called Pepcom. And as you can see around me, there are probably over 150, maybe even 200 companies that are all right next to each other, and we've got a lot of stuff to see here. I'm an hour behind because when I got here, I realized I forgot my little microphone receiver for my stick mic, so I had to run all the way back and forth. But producer Jake is here with me. He's been scoping the place out, so let's go see what he found. CES 2024 coverage is being brought to you by SK. Check out the video we just uploaded that details all of the amazing artificial intelligence hardware and software SK has developed. All right, so our first stop here is at HP. We've got some computers to take a look at, but first, a couple of little keyboards I thought you all might find of interest. This is an inexpensive backlit keyboard called the HP 400. It's 50 bucks. It's not mechanical, but the keys look pretty nice here, kind of similar to their laptop keys. And it's backlit, so that's not a bad little keyboard there. This one's pretty cool. This one's 49 bucks as well. It is a mechanical number pad, but it's got some little transparent keycaps here that you can program and put these stickers in there so you can have these do customized functions. And if you're looking for a good number pad, this one's mechanical, and it's got some neat programmability. All right, if you're looking for a new gaming monitor, you might find this one interesting. This is the Omen Transcend. It is 32 inches, QD-OLED, and it is not only designed for gaming, but it's also calibrated for creative activity as well. It's got nice speakers, they tell me. It's very noisy in here, so we can't hear those, but everything you could want out of a monitor. It even goes from horizontal to vertical if you want. It can supply 140 watts of power to an HP laptop. So if you've got a laptop that needs north of 100 watts, the monitor will support that, which is not something we see with a single cable installation. One other thing they told me about is that if you have two things hooked up to it and you're working on a laptop on the left and your desktop is on the right, as your mouse shifts focus from one thing to the other, it automatically switches between the computers. Now in the back, they've got this really nice LED light, and it can do ambiance, so it can match what your game is displaying on screen if you want. They tell me it looks really cool when you've got it against the wall. No price on this one yet. We'll have a little bit more on that towards the middle of the year. Now this is HP's new foldable. This is their Spectre Foldable PC, and it kind of looks like a regular laptop here, but the keyboard is magnetic. And what's neat is that it's got these stop points. So what they're demoing here is that you can kind of dock an app down in this lower section of the screen and then have all this other screen real estate to work with. You then, of course, can pull it all the way out and get kind of a dual screen mode. I am going one-handed here because I'm holding the microphone, but on the back here they've got a kickstand, so you can extend this out and stand it up on its own, kind of like that, and have the keyboard detached and working wirelessly. So neat foldable here from HP. It is rather pricey though, at $5,000, but this kind of technology starts off expensive and eventually gets more affordable. This is the kind of product too where they're probably testing the market to see what kind of interest there is. Now HP also launched two new HP Spectres. These are their X360s, and they have a 14-inch and a 16-inch. The big story here is that these have the new Intel Core Ultra processors and a 9-megapixel webcam at the top. So they have certainly a performance boost. There are some AI workloads that can run on those new Ultra processors, so a nice bump up on the X360 line. Now this is the long-awaited Framework 16. This is a completely modular laptop, and we're going to run some B-roll here of them swapping out the GPU. Yes, you can actually swap out the graphics card on this. This has an AMD Radeon, I think it's a 7780S GPU that you can slide in. I probably got that wrong, so you can correct me in the comment stream. But you can also run it with integrated graphics, and you can swap it back and forth. You can kind of do the swap in about 4 minutes. And you'll notice here, this keyboard looks pretty funky. You can actually change the layout of the entire keyboard deck here. You can put a number pad over here. You can move the keyboard over and put the number pad there. They've got a customized thing with different LED lights for gamers. It is very, very modular, just like all of the other Framework devices we've looked at. And if Jake can pan the camera over here real quick, you can see the interior where just about everything on this is user replaceable. And it's great to see this new, more powerful Framework make it to market. I did want to, though, say hello to Nirav Patel, who's the CEO chief engineer, all of those things for Framework. So you grew up in my hometown with my
Westbrook, Connecticut.
with my brother Josh.
That's right, I did. Yeah, I know your brother well.
So he's never sent you any maple syrup.
We're going to trade modules for syrup.
I'm going to take that back to Josh. So Josh, as you all know, does that maple syrup farm up in Vermont, and we'll make sure we get that going. But Josh's videos that he produces are done on a Framework laptop up there. So best of luck to you with the new release, and hope it goes well.
Thank you so much. Great seeing you.
Now, back at my old job, I was responsible for maintaining all of the office equipment and all the IT equipment, and one of the things that I purchased for the office were a bunch of ScanSnap scanners, and this is a new one, the IX1600. This is designed for a small office or a home. It can scan 40 pages per minute, duplex, which means that you can get 80 pages ingested at the same time. Unlike the prior ScanSnaps, this doesn't require a computer to work. It'll do everything to the cloud directly. You can send emails out. It even works with Chromebooks. So if you need a high-speed scanner to scan a lot of documents frequently, these are really helpful devices for that. And so this is the ScanSnap IX1600. It is now a Ricoh product. Ricoh acquired the ScanSnap business, or at least a good chunk of it, so that's why the branding has changed. So we stopped by Plugable's table. I love Plugable's stuff because they have so many different accessories for your devices, and they've got some new things. The newest ones are these iPad stands that can attach to your iPad magnetically. So you just snap it on there and it will work. So these are not going to work with all the older iPads, but the newer ones that have MagSafe should be able to work with it. And they've got some that support the larger ones and the smaller ones. These are about $79 a piece. By the way, though, if you don't have a magnetic iPad, they have a little clip that you can put on there so your regular iPad can fit. So it's pretty versatile. Now, if you're traveling a lot, this is a $25 portable laptop and tablet stand, and you just unfold it to get it to stand up for whatever you're trying to work with. They actually have one over here that is supporting this MacBook, but it can fit in your bag. But you can also put your iPad on it and that kind of thing. They also have a little stand here for portable displays and tablets. It's got a little swivel base. I forgot the price point on this, but it's pretty reasonable. And they've got a new Thunderbolt dock, $199 with 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, 100 watts of output for power, and all the other things you expect out of a Thunderbolt dock. So here's a really neat HP Sprocket device. Now, we've talked about Sprocket many times in the past here on the channel. They have these really cool photo printers that print out on zinc paper. This is a photo booth. So you can walk up to it, you can put it at a party, you get all these frames. They got a custom one here for the CES show. You hit a button, and it will print you out these, I got a pose here. It'll print out, I got a really bad one on me. It'll print out a 3x5 by 4.25 image here, and you can have people take these home as party favors. It's $449. So for what it is, I think it's actually kind of reasonable, especially if you're somebody that does parties. This is a great thing to bring along with you. Now, as many of you know, I'm a big fan of Synology, and they're also an occasional sponsor here on the channel in full disclosure. And I've been saying to them for years, you need a more consumer-friendly product. They finally got there with this one. This is called the Beestation. This is similar in some ways to that little B drive we looked at a little while ago, but it's much more robust. It is a 4 terabyte unit. The hard drive comes with it. There's nothing to set up. You plug it in, put it on your network, and what you get, if Jake pulls up here, is a very user-friendly interface for managing your files and your photos. Not a lot of extra stuff here, but it'll sync up to cloud services. It'll back up your computers wherever they are. So you get a lot of the core functionality of a NAS without any of the complexity. So if you were looking to get a large storage device for your parents, for example, this might be one to consider because there's not a lot of management involved with it, and it's relatively affordable at $219. Now, if you use Synology's surveillance station, they have a new Wi-Fi camera. The prior cameras have all been PoE, so this will connect to your Wi-Fi like some of the Wise cameras and others that we've looked at, but this comes with a license for another camera for your Synology surveillance station, so you can add it to the mix, host everything yourself, and you get all the AI features that they have on their other cameras. No price on this yet. We'll let you know when there is one, but I think this might be very useful for people that want to add a couple of Wi-Fi cameras to the mix. So here's a neat thing. This is the Looking Glass Go. It is a 3D picture frame. It's hard to see, obviously, on a 2D video here, but you can see depth to these images that you can load in yourself. And what's neat about this is that it can work with old photos and use some AI to add depth to them. But if you take a photo with a iPhone or one of the more recent Android phones that have depth mapping, you can use that data and get a nice 3D image from your existing photos and existing devices. This is an example of an old photo that ran through their AI. It looks really cool. You can see a lot of depth to the image here. It's really neat. Now, this is going to cost about $300. They have different ways of loading the images on. One other thing they're experimenting with is having 3D chatbots, like this little guy, that'll work on this frame, and they link up with ChatGPT, and you can have a conversation with these little creatures. Cool stuff. And this will be out in the summer for $300. So Tablo is here, and we did review this before, but the quad version with the 4 tuners is now available at Best Buy exclusively if you were looking for a Tablo with more tuning capability. And this is what their antenna looks like if you get the antenna bundle here. Nothing new at the show, but I did want to mention that that quad tuner is available if you were looking for it. So I ran into my friends at Kensington, and in full disclosure, I do videos for them as a consultant from time to time, but they've got some cool stuff that I wanted to talk about. So we're still waiting on news of Thunderbolt 5 and what it's going to be about, but Kensington does plan to have a Thunderbolt 5 dock, and this is an early prototype of it. It's subject to change, of course. It does have 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. We don't know, again, what the Thunderbolt 5 spec will bring, so keep an eye on this. It'll probably be coming out soon. But today they've got some docks. This one has been out for a little while. This is a really neat dock. It's about $279. It uses DisplayLink, and it connects over USB-C. So if you have a laptop without Thunderbolt, you can actually get 3 output displays from this using DisplayLink. This larger one here is $299. This is driverless for its display output, but it's got a ton of ports here on the back, and it's also USB-C. So if you don't have a Thunderbolt device, this might be a useful dock. It can also power your laptop. Now, of course, everyone's familiar with Kensington locks, and you'll notice that this one looks a little different. That's because they are getting rid of the plastic sheathing around the stainless steel to make their products more environmentally friendly. So the new ones rolling forward here are not going to have that sheathing. They're just going to be here with the stainless steel. But it looks pretty nice, and it's just as strong. It's the same stuff. It just doesn't have the plastic around it. So here's a cool product from OWC. This is a portable SSD. You can put your NVMe in here. It's $119 without a drive. It's about $219 with a 1 terabyte drive. They call this the OWC Express One M2. This is available now, but they sold out very quickly. It is fanless. It runs at 40 gigabits per second USB 4, but of course is also Thunderbolt compatible at that high speed. So a nice high quality enclosure here. You can get it with a drive. You can add storage later by removing what's in there. Good deal from OWC. They're sold out right this second, but they'll be getting more of these in stock soon. So that's going to wrap it up for Pepcom here at CES 2024. But don't worry, we've got a lot more to see, and we'll be going out to another event like this tomorrow night, and we're going to start wandering the show floor. And yes, this is real ice as well. So great time here at Pepcom. We'll be back with another CES dispatch very soon. Set your notifications. We are working hard out here to show you what's at this show. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters Brian Parker, Budley, Hot Sauce and Video Games, Steve Green, and Amda Brown. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.